Well, the first Democratic senators today publicly declaring their intention to vote for the confirmation of Supreme Court nominee Neil Gorsuch, Senator Joe Manchin, and Senator Heidi Heitkamp bravely breaking ranks with the Dems. More than half their colleagues have come out against the judge and are planning to support a filibuster. Well, joining me now to discuss, Democratic obstructionism, sanctuary cities, and more, attorney, professor of law at the George Washington University, Professor Jonathan Turley. Great to have you with us, Professor.
Thanks, Lou.
Neil Gorsuch, I haven't heard greater accolades for anyone, since Antonin Scalia. And for him to be obstructed, if you will, borked, which seems to be the view of Schumer that he would like to carry out, it just seems criminal to me.
Well, it is, I think, unfair, and I think it's also unwise for the Democrats. I was called to testify at the Gorsuch hearings, right, and I supported enthusiastically his nomination. In fact, Gorsuch is something relatively new in that he's someone who has participated in tough questions. And one of the things I told the Senate Judiciary is I don't like the fact that we've had a long history of sort of blind date nominees, people selected because they've never had an interesting thought or written an interesting thing in their lives. Gorsuch is not like that. He was not a pedestrian. He participated. His work is very, very good, even if you don't agree with him. It's a very high quality, and he participated in that debate. That's a good thing, and I don't think he should be penalized for it.
We just put up there, and it was quickly taken down, so I'm going to ask that we bring back the full screen, if we may, so I can make reference to it, Professor. Judge Gorsuch has met with 80 of the senators. He's turned over 75,000 pages of documentaries. He's gone through 4 hearings, over 21 hours of testimony. I mean, first of all, I want to say, I think that this reflects some laziness on the part of senators who could read his opinions, who could read all that he has written, the books that he has written. This is process and theater in large, if not principal measure. Now, what happens? Do we see the nuclear option, or will the Democrats be smart enough to say, we're going to open up the vote for the Democrats to support him?
Well, Harry Reid was exceptionally unwise to rescind much of the filibuster rule during the Obama administration. They got very little for that. And Senator McConnell said correctly on the Senate floor, basically, this bill will come due. You will rue the day you did this. And
is this the day?
It may be the day. If they do filibuster, I expect they'll get rid of the rest of the filibuster rule, which, frankly, I think is a bit of a shame. But it's also, I think, really premature. This is swapping a conservative for a conservative. The next seat is likely to be much greater stakes, and you won't have the filibuster even to slow that down.
Well, maybe we're just watching them practice for that moment. So look, we've got less than a minute. I just want to ask you this. Sanctuary cities, the Justice Department is going after them. The Attorney General making that clear, yet it is unclear what penalties can be brought. Do you have a view very quickly as to what they could do?
Well, first of all, I think these cities that are trying to oppose the withdrawal of federal funds are going to be largely unsuccessful. I think the federal government clearly has the basis to hold back many of these grants, many of these monies that go to these cities. So they have to make a choice. As for other penalties, there may indeed be some penalties for individual state officials if they go too far in obstructing the federal agents. But this is going to unfold fairly quickly.